I told myself I was ready. I stood in the jewelry store, staring at the glass case. My reflection warped between silver bands and white lights. The salesman smiled and said, "Looking for something special?" "I already found it," I said, pointing at the simplest ring in the case. He lifted it carefully. "Engagement." "Yeah," I said. "Marriage." He nodded like that word still meant something solid. That afternoon, I picked up my sister Ava from school. She ran toward me with her backpack bouncing. "You're late," she said, pretending to be mad. "I know," I said. "Traffic." She narrowed her eyes. "You're lying." I laughed. "Okay." I was buying something important. Her eyes lit up. "For Mia?" I didn't answer. I just smiled. That night, Mia sat across from me on the couch, her legs tucked under her. I said, "After Ava's school event on Friday, I was thinking we could go somewhere quiet." She looked up. "Like where?" "I don't know. Somewhere just us." She smiled, but didn't reach her eyes. "That sounds nice." "You don't sound excited," I said. "I am," she said quickly. "Just tired." I nodded, even though my chest felt tight. At dinner, Mom set the table carefully, like she was preparing for something delicate. Dad stayed quiet. Ava talked nonstop about her project. Mia barely spoke. Mom finally asked, "So Mia, how's work?" "Busy," Mia said. Her phone buzzed. She flipped it face down. Mom noticed. I noticed. I asked, "Who's texting you?" Mia laughed too fast. "Just Emily." "Emily texts a lot," I said. "She worries," Mia said. Her phone buzzed again. Mom smiled politely. "Must be nice to have friends who care." Mia shifted in her chair. "Yeah, nice." After dinner, Jason called me. "Bro," he said, "are you alive?" "Barely," I said. He laughed. "So, did you do it?" "Not yet." "Good," he said. "Because if she hides her phone like that, it's either a surprise or a disaster." I forced a laugh. "You watch too many dramas." "Life is a drama," he said. "Just don't ignore the signs." Later that night, Ava hugged me before bed. "Are you going to marry Mia?" I froze. "Why would you ask that?" She shrugged. "You look like you're planning something." I kissed her forehead. "Go to sleep." When the apartment went quiet, I stepped into the kitchen for water. The balcony door was open. I heard Mia's voice. Soft. "Careful." "I shouldn't," she said. "I know I shouldn't." I moved closer. "I'm happy," she whispered. I miss you." My heart started pounding. "You don't understand," she said. "Things are different now." I stood still, my hand gripping the wall. "I can't talk long," she said. "If he finds out." She paused. Then she said the name. "Logan." The glass slipped from my hand and shattered on the floor. She turned, her face pale. "Ethan." I didn't answer. I just stared at her, the ring heavy in my pocket, and realized the future I bought no longer belonged to me. I didn't sleep after the glass shattered. Mia stood in the balcony doorway, eyes wide, hands opening and closing. "Ethan," she said. "I can't explain." I swallowed hard. "Why did you say his name?" She blinked. "What?" "Don't act confused," I said. My voice shook, and I hated that it did. "I heard you. You said Logan." "Why?" Mia took a careful step. "You were listening?" "I was getting water," I snapped. "Then I heard you whispering like you were hiding something." "It wasn't like that," she said quickly. "He texted me." My stomach dropped. "He texted you?" "Out of nowhere." "And you answered." "He said he was sorry," she blurted. "He wanted to apologize." "That's it." I let out a short laugh. "After all this time?" Mia's face tightened. "You're overthinking." "No," I said. "I'm thinking." She reached for my arm. "It's nothing. I chose you." Those words should have helped. They didn't. I pulled back. "Show me the messages." She didn't move. "Mia," I said softer. "Show me." She looked down. "I deleted them." My chest went cold. "Of course you did." "I didn't want drama," she said. "I knew you'd react." "I'm reacting because you're hiding," I said. "I didn't do anything," she insisted. I wanted to believe her. I wanted this to be small. But the name in her mouth kept echoing. I leaned on the counter and forced air in my lungs. "Tell me the truth," I said. "Do you miss him?" Mia's eyes filled. "No. I miss who I was before everything got messy." "That's not an answer," I said. She stepped closer, voice small. "He hurt me, Ethan. You know that. I hate that he can still pull at me." "Then block him," I said. "I did." she whispered, then looked away. I unblocked him. My stomach twisted. Why? Because part of me wanted to hear that I mattered, she said. That's stupid. I know it's stupid. I reached into my pocket and felt the ring box. The hard edge pressed my palm like a warning. I was going to propose, I said. Her mouth opened. Ethan, don't, I cut in. Don't cry like you didn't light the match. She covered her face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to hold her. I wanted to walk out. I need you to choose, I said. Not with words, with actions. If you can't do that, tell me now. So I stopped lying to myself for 1 second. Go to bed, I said. She flinched. Are you mad? I'm tired, I lied. The next morning, I drove Mia to work. She filled the car with nervous words. I'm sorry you heard that, she said. I should have told you. You should have, I replied. She glanced at me. Are you going to punish me forever? I'm not punishing you, I said. I'm trying not to break. We pulled into the parking lot, and I saw him. A car parked too neat. A man leaning against it like he belonged there. My hands tightened on the wheel. That him? Mia's head snapped toward the window. Ethan, don't. I got out anyway. He pushed off the car with a lazy grin. Sharp eyes. Confident posture. Hey, he said. You must be Ethan. I walked up close. Why are you here? He lifted both palms. Relax, man. We're just talking. Talking about what? I asked. He smirked. Closure. Mia rushed out of the building, panic on her face. Logan, stop. He turned to her, voice softer. Mia, I just wanted a minute. She grabbed his arm and pulled him aside. Not here, she hissed. I stood there, watching them whisper, watching her angle toward him without thinking. Mia looked back at me. Ethan, please go. Go. I repeated. You want me to go? She swallowed. I'll call you later. Logan glanced at me again and smiled like he'd won something. I drove away with my jaw locked. That night, I sat at my parents' kitchen table because I couldn't stand my own apartment. Dad was rinsing a mug when he spoke. You look like you're carrying a storm, he said. Mia's ex showed up, I said. Dad finally met my eyes. The one you heard? Yeah. She says he apologized. Dad set the mug down. Love without respect becomes a trap. I stared at the table. What if I'm already stuck? You can love someone, he said, and still walk away. When I got home, Mia was on the couch with her knees to her chest. Where were you? She asked. With my parents. She stood up fast. Are you leaving me? I shook my head. No. She grabbed my shirt like she was afraid I'd vanish. Please don't leave. I swear I'm trying. I touched her hair, but my hand felt heavy. I won't, I said, but inside, a quiet voice asked if I was already losing. My phone rang close to midnight. Emily's name lit up the screen. I answered confused. Emily. Her voice was low, almost shaking. Ethan, you need to see what Mia sent me. I stepped into the hallway, so Mia wouldn't hear me. Emily, I said. It's late. Her voice was thin. I'm sorry. You need to know something. My stomach tightened. Know what? Can you come outside? She whispered. Now. I met her under the streetlight by my car. Emily held her phone like it weighed a ton. I shouldn't be doing this, she said. But I can't watch you get played. Show me, I said. She unlocked her screen and handed it over. I read the first line and felt my skin go cold. Mia, I don't know what I'm doing. I swallowed. Mia, Logan makes me feel alive. My hands went numb. I reread it, hoping it would turn into a joke. Emily's eyes were wet. There's more. I scrolled. Mia, Ethan is good. Too good. Mia, he talks about marriage and family, and I feel trapped. Mia, Logan feels like fire. I looked up at Emily. Did she say why now? I asked. Emily shook her head. She said she couldn't breathe. She whispered. She said you were too good, and that made her feel guilty. Guilt, like love, was a crime, and loyalty was a sentence. My stomach twisted, but I nodded. I hated hearing that. The buzzing in my ears got louder. A cruel thought slid in. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I became boring. I pushed the phone back to Emily. Thanks. She grabbed my sleeve. Don't go in there alone. I have to, I said. She's my girlfriend. Emily flinched. I'm sorry, Ethan. I walked upstairs with my heart punching my ribs. Mia was on the couch, hugging a pillow like she was bracing for impact. Who was on the phone? She asked. Emily, I said. Her eyes widened. Why is Emily calling you? Because you texted her what you couldn't say to me. I held my hand out. Give me your phone. Mia stood fast. Ethan, it's not. Stop, I said. I saw the screenshots. Her face drained. You read them? Yes. My voice shook, so I slowed it down. You told her Logan makes you feel alive. Mia started crying right away. I hate myself. I don't know why I'm like this. Why did you answer him? I asked. He texted to apologize, she said. He said he changed. And you believed him? I didn't want to, she whispered. But I did. I stared at her. You deleted the messages. I didn't want drama, she said. I knew you'd explode. I'm exploding because you're hiding, I said. You saw him at work. He showed up, she cried. He wouldn't leave. You still talked, I said. She wiped her cheeks. I was scared. Of him, I asked. Or of me finding out you still miss him? Mia opened her mouth and closed it. That silence hit harder than any answer. I'm confused, she said. I don't want to hurt you. But you are, I said. Right now. She stepped closer. Ethan, please. You're the best thing in my life. I let out a bitter laugh. Then why does he get you're alive? It's not like that, she said, voice shaking. You're safe. Safe, I repeated. Yes, she said. You're steady. You show up. And Logan? I asked. Her lips trembled. He's my weakness. My chest felt like it was being squeezed. So what am I? Mia looked at me like she wanted to answer, but her thoughts were a locked door. I pulled the ring box from my pocket and set on the table. I bought that today. She froze. Ethan, I was going to propose, I said. After Ava's event. Mia reached toward it, then jerked her hand back. I didn't mean for any of this. Say the truth, I said. Not the apology. Her shoulders shook. You're perfect on paper, but he's my weakness. The words went straight through me. I whispered, so what am I? Nothing. Just her crying and the sound of my own breathing. I grabbed my keys. Don't follow me. Ethan, please, she begged. Don't leave. I didn't trust my voice, so I just shook my head and walked out. The night air felt like knives. I kept moving until my legs ached. Jason pulled up a minute later like he'd been waiting. He got out and said, talk. I leaned on my car. She told Emily Logan makes her feel alive. Jason's eyes hardened. And you? I'm safe, I said. I'm perfect on paper. He cursed. That's cruel. It's honest, I said, and it killed something in me. Come eat, he said. I can't swallow, I admitted. Then sit, he said. Just don't go back tonight. When I finally went home, the lights were low. Ava was on the couch with a blanket, eyes sleepy but worried. Ethan, she asked, are you and Mia okay? I forced a smile that hurt. Yeah, we're fine. Ava stared at me like she knew I was lying, then whispered, okay, like she was trying to be brave for me. I went to my room and shut the door. My chest hurt in a way I couldn't explain. I slid down the wall and covered my face. I don't recognize me, I whispered. My phone buzzed. Mia, I'm going to see him, just to talk. I stared at the message until my screen dimmed and my heart turned to stone. I stepped into the hallway so Mia wouldn't hear me. Emily, I said, it's late. Her voice was thin. I'm sorry. You need to know something. My stomach tightened. Know what? Can you come outside? She whispered. Now. I met her under the streetlight by my car. Emily held her phone like it weighed a ton. I shouldn't be doing this, she said. But I can't watch you get played. Show me, I said. She unlocked her screen and handed it over. I read the first line and felt my skin go cold. Mia, I don't know what I'm doing. I swallowed. Mia, Logan makes me feel alive. My hands went numb. I reread it, hoping it would turn into a joke. Emily's eyes were wet. There's more. I scrolled. Mia, Ethan is good. Too good. Mia, he talks about marriage and family, and I feel trapped. Mia, Logan feels like fire. I looked up at Emily. Did she say why now? I asked. Emily shook her head. She said she couldn't breathe. She whispered. She said you were too good, and that made her feel guilty. Guilt, like love, was a crime, and loyalty was a sentence. My stomach twisted, but I nodded. I hated hearing that. The buzzing in my ears got louder. A cruel thought slid in. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I became boring. I pushed the phone back to Emily. Thanks. She grabbed my sleeve. Don't go in there alone. I have to, I said. She's my girlfriend. Emily flinched. I'm sorry, Ethan. I walked upstairs with my heart punching my ribs. Mia was on the couch, hugging a pillow like she was bracing for impact. "Who was on the phone?" she asked. "Emily," I said. Her eyes widened. "Why is Emily calling you?" "Because you texted her what you couldn't say to me." I held my hand out. "Give me your phone." Mia stood fast. "Ethan, it's not." "Stop," I said. I saw the screenshots. Her face drained. "You read them?" "Yes." My voice shook, so I slowed it down. "You told her Logan makes you feel alive." Mia started crying right away. "I hate myself. I don't know why I'm like this." "Why did you answer him?" I asked. "He texted to apologize," she said. "He said he changed." "And you believed him?" "I didn't want to," she whispered. "But I did." I stared at her. "You deleted the messages." "I didn't want drama," she said. "I knew you'd explode." "I'm exploding because you're hiding," I said. "You saw him at work." "He showed up," she cried. "He wouldn't leave." "You still talked," I said. She wiped her cheeks. "I was scared." "Of him?" I asked. "Or of me finding out you still miss him?" Mia opened her mouth and closed it. That silence hit harder than any answer. "I'm confused," she said. "I don't want to hurt you." "But you are," I said. "Right now." She stepped closer. "Ethan, please. You're the best thing in my life." I let out a bitter laugh. "Then why does he get you're alive?" "It's not like that," she said, voice shaking. "You're safe." "Safe," I repeated. "Yes," she said. "You're steady. You show up." "And Logan?" I asked. Her lips trembled. "He's my weakness." My chest felt like it was being squeezed. "So what am I?" Mia looked at me like she wanted to answer, but her thoughts were a locked door. I pulled the ring box from my pocket and set it on the table. "I bought that today." She froze. "Ethan, I was going to propose," I said. "After Ava's event." Mia reached toward it, then jerked her hand back. "I didn't mean for any of this." "Say the truth," I said. "Not the apology." Her shoulders shook. "You're perfect on paper, but he's my weakness." The words went straight through me. I whispered, "So what am I?" "Nothing. Just her crying and the sound of my own breathing." I grabbed my keys. "Don't follow me." "Ethan, please," she begged. "Don't leave." I didn't trust my voice, so I just shook my head and walked out. The night air felt like knives. I kept moving until my legs ached. Jason pulled up a minute later like he'd been waiting. He got out and said, "Talk." I leaned on my car. "She told Emily Logan makes her feel alive." Jason's eyes hardened. "And you?" "I'm safe," I said. "I'm perfect on paper." He cursed. "That's cruel." "It's honest," I said, "and it killed something in me." "Come eat," he said. "I can't swallow," I admitted. "Then sit," he said. "Just don't go back tonight." When I finally went home, the lights were low. Ava was on the couch with a blanket, eyes sleepy but worried. "Ethan," she asked, "are you and Mia okay?" I forced a smile that hurt. "Yeah, we're fine." Ava stared at me like she knew I was lying, then whispered, "Okay," like she was trying to be brave for me. I went to my room and shut the door. My chest hurt in a way I couldn't explain. I slid down the wall and covered my face. "I don't recognize me," I whispered. My phone buzzed. "Mia, I'm going to see him. Just to talk." I stared at the message until my screen dimmed and my heart turned to stone. I drove like the road was on fire. "Mia, it doesn't matter," I kept saying out loud. "Not right now. Not right now." My hands were sweating. My heart was slamming so hard it hurt. Every time I blinked, I saw Ava's face smiling that morning, calling me a liar when I said I was late because of traffic. When I reached the school, my mom ran toward my car before I even shut the door. "Ethan," she cried, grabbing my arms. "She's gone. She's gone." "Mom, breathe," I said, but my voice sounded fake. "Tell me exactly what happened." Her eyes were red. "I was right there. Right there." The kids came out, the parents clapped, and then she swallowed hard. Then Ava didn't come. I looked past her and saw my dad standing near the entrance, phone pressed to his ear. His face was tight like stone. He saw me and held up one finger. "Yes," he said into the phone. "Name is Ava Brooks. 12. Brown hair. Pink jacket." He paused. "No, she doesn't usually wander." I felt sick. The world tilted for a second, and I gripped my car door to stay upright. Mom noticed. "Ethan, don't do that. Don't you pass out on me." "I'm fine," I lied. "I'm fine." Dad ended the call and walked over. "Police are on the way," he said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were not. I clenched my jaw. How long ago? 20 minutes, Dad said. 20 minutes. My mind filled with ugly possibilities. I forced my lungs to work. Mom grabbed my shirt. If something happens to her, it won't, I said fast. It won't. We're going to find her. Dad looked at me. Think, he said. Where would she go if she got scared? The community center, I said without thinking. She goes there after school sometimes. Mom wiped her face. We already checked the front. Then we check everything, I said. Back door, side streets, bathrooms, the playground. My phone buzzed. Jason. I answered. Jason. I heard, he said. I'm coming. Bring a flashlight, I said. And don't waste time asking questions. I'm already moving, he said. I turned to my parents. Split up, I said. Mom, stay with Dad near the school. In case she comes back. I'll check the route to the community center. Mom shook her head. I'm coming with you. No, Dad said firmly. Sarah, listen. Ethan's right. Mom's mouth trembled, but she nodded. I started jogging down the sidewalk, scanning every corner, every parked car, every shadow between buildings. Ava, I shouted. Ava. My voice sounded too loud, like I was begging the city to answer. Jason pulled up and jumped out, breathless. Where are we going? Community center, I said. He jogged beside me. Bro, it's going to be okay. Don't say that, I snapped. Just look. We searched behind the small shops first, then the park, then the alley behind the bakery where Ava liked to buy cheap donuts. Jason called out, Ava, it's Jason. If you hear me, yell. I checked my phone again, like Ava would magically text, like life would suddenly become normal. Nothing. My stomach turned again. I whispered, this is my fault. Jason looked at me. Don't. I left her event early, I said, voice breaking. I left because Mia was... I stopped. Saying Mia's name felt like poison. Jason's eyes tightened. Forget her. I can't, I said, because if I wasn't losing my mind about her, I would have been there. I would have walked Ava out. Jason grabbed my shoulder. Ethan, listen. Blame later. Find her now. I nodded, even though my throat burned. We reached the community center. The front door was locked. Lights were off inside. I pounded on the glass. Ava. Jason ran around the side. Back door's open. I sprinted after him, my shoes slapping the pavement. The back door was cracked like someone didn't close it all the way. Why is this open? I whispered. Jason pushed it wider. Ava. We stepped inside, and the air smelled like old paint and dust. Ava. I yelled again. A soft sound came from the hallway. I ran toward it and nearly tripped when I saw her. Ava was sitting on the floor near the water fountain, knees pulled to her chest. Her pink jacket was dirty. Her face was pale. Her eyes looked too old. Ava. I dropped to my knees in front of her. Ava, baby, talk to me. She blinked like she wasn't sure I was real. Jason crouched beside me. Hey, kiddo. Ava's hand was clenched around something. I recognized it right away. A small bracelet. Blue beads. A cheap charm shaped like a star. I gave it to her years ago when she was scared of sleeping alone. I touched her shoulder. Why are you here? Her voice came out tiny. I got lost. You didn't get lost, I said gently. Tell me the truth. Ava's eyes filled with tears. I didn't want Mom to worry. My chest ached. I'm your brother. I'm already worried. Jason said, did someone scare you? Ava flinched. My blood froze. Ava, I whispered, did someone follow you? She nodded once. I stood up so fast my head spun. Where is he? Ava grabbed my sleeve with a shaky hand. In the car, she whispered. In a car. I repeated. She swallowed hard. A man followed me. My blood turned cold. That night, when we got home, I looked out the window and saw a shadow near our fence. Across the street, a familiar car sat with its lights off. I kept the curtains half closed. Across the street, that car sat with its lights off. I knew it anyway. Same shape, same dull scratch on the rear bumper. My stomach turned. That's Logan's, I said. Mom looked up from the couch. What? Dad stepped beside me. You're sure? I'm sure, I said. It was outside Mia's job. Ava sat under a blanket, still gripping my old bracelet like it could protect her. Her hand shook. Jason muttered, I'll go out there. Dad grabbed his wrist. No, not angry. I wanted to storm outside. I wanted to drag Logan out and demand answers. My mind flashed ugly thoughts. Then Ava whispered, "Ethan, don't." I looked at her trembling fingers and forced a breath. "Okay," I said. "Control." Jason frowned. "Control? We don't give him a scene," I said. "We give the police proof." Dad nodded once. "Good." I pulled out my phone. "Jason, stand by the window," I said. "If he moves, I want it recorded." Jason lifted his own phone. Already on it. Mom's voice cracked. "Call the police again." Dad dialed. "This is Daniel Brooks," he said. "We found our daughter, but the man who followed her is outside our home now." He paused. "Yes, in a car. I have the plate." I snapped photos through the curtain gap and zoomed until the numbers were clear. My hands still shook, but I kept them steady. A shadow shifted inside the car. Someone leaned forward, then back. Ava made a small sound. "He's looking at the house." "Look at me," I told her. "You're safe." She nodded fast, like she was trying to believe it. Dad ended the call. "An officer is coming." I stared at the car. My jaw ached. "He thinks he can scare us." Mom held Ava tighter. "Why would he do this?" I didn't answer because I knew why, and it made me sick. Dad touched my shoulder. "Ethan," he said, "look at me." "I'm looking." "You don't go out there," he said. "Not for pride." "I'm not doing it for pride," I snapped. "I'm doing it because he scared Ava." Mom said, "Your sister needs you here." Ava's voice was tiny. "I don't want you to fight." I knelt by her. "I won't," I promised, even though my hands wanted to shake into fists. "If he comes to the door, you stay behind, Dad. If anyone calls your name outside, you don't answer." "Okay." Ava nodded. "Okay," Jason said. "And if he runs, we follow from a distance, right?" Dad shook his head. "We let the police follow. We don't become the story." I hated that he was right. My phone buzzed. Olivia. I'd missed work and ignored messages all day. I stepped into the kitchen and answered. "Olivia." Her voice was careful. "Ethan, you didn't show up. Are you okay?" "No," I said. A pause. "Do you want to tell me?" "Someone is outside my house," I said. "Someone dangerous." Olivia didn't panic. She said, "Listen." "I'm listening." "Don't let anger drive the car," she said. "It crashes first." Her words hit me hard. I didn't know why. Maybe because I needed someone to pull me back from the edge. I whispered I want to destroy him. "I know," she said. "But your sister needs you smart, not reckless." I closed my eyes. "You're right. Call if you need me," she said. "And stay with witnesses." "I will," I said, then hung up. My phone buzzed again. "Mia." Jason saw the screen. "Don't." I answered anyway. "What?" Mia's voice broke. "Ethan, I'm scared." I almost laughed because the timing was cruel. "Now you're scared?" "Logan is different now," she whispered. "He scares me." "You walked back into that fire," I said. "I didn't know," she cried. "I didn't think he'd." "Stop," I said. "My sister was missing tonight." Mia gasped. "What?" "She was followed," I said. "She's 12, Mia." "I swear I didn't know," she said. "Please listen." "I am," I said. "Tell the truth." "He says things," she sobbed. "He twists things. He makes me feel guilty." I stared at the dark car. "Why is he here?" I asked. Mia went quiet. "Mia," I warned. "Because of me," she whispered. My chest tightened. "Explain." "He thinks you took me from him," she said. "He says you're ruining his life." I kept my voice low. "And you still met him." "I was trying to end it," she cried. "I was trying to make him stop. By giving him time," I said. "By feeding him hope." "I'm sorry," she said. "Ethan, help me." I hated that my heart still reacted to her saying my name. I said, "If you tell the truth, I'll help you safely. If you lie, I'm gone forever." Mia breathed hard. "I'll tell the truth." "Then start now," I said. "What did you tell him about my family?" Her voice dropped. I told him about Ava's event. My vision darkened. "Why?" he asked, she said. He acted like he cared. "I didn't think." "Think," I repeated. "You didn't think." "I didn't mean to hurt her," she cried. "I didn't." "Then listen," I said. "Screenshot everything. No deleting. And you go to the police." Outside, the engine idled like it was waiting for permission. Mia whispered, "He's been using me." I went still. "And he's been watching your sister," she said. I didn't sleep. I watched the street until the sky turned gray. Dad sat at the kitchen table with a notebook open, writing times and plate numbers like he was building a wall out of facts. Mom stayed close to Ava, holding her like she could block fear with her arms. Jason leaned against the counter, silent for once. My phone buzzed. Mia. I answered with my voice flat. Talk. She sounded like she'd been crying for hours. Ethan, I'm telling the truth now. You should have started with that, I said. I know, she whispered. Logan's been manipulating me. I clenched my jaw. Ow! He kept threatening me, she said. He said he'd expose private things. Private things like what? I asked. She hesitated. Messages. Photos. Stuff from when we were together. Jason muttered trash. Mia heard him and flinched in her voice. He made me feel dirty, like I owed him. I stared at the wall. And you believed you did. He kept saying, prove your loyalty, she whispered. Like I had to choose him or lose everything. I felt rage rise, then freeze into something colder. So you proved it by meeting him. I was scared, she said. He kept showing up. He kept watching. And Ava? I asked, each word sharp. How did my sister get dragged into your mess? Mia's breath hitched. I told him her schedule. The room went quiet. Dad's pen stopped. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Jason took a step forward like he wanted to grab my phone and scream into it. I said, say that again. I told him Ava's event time. Mia cried. I didn't think. He asked like he cared. I thought it was harmless. Dad spoke for the first time, voice low. It's never harmless when a predator asks questions. Mia choked on a sob. I didn't know he'd follow her. I swear. I didn't yell. I didn't even shake. I felt empty and clean, like anger had burned out and left only ice. I said, you're going to the police. Now. I can't, she whispered. If I go, he'll. He already did. I cut in. He followed a child. Your fear doesn't outrank her safety. Mia whispered, okay. Dad held his hand out. Give me the address she's at. I put the phone on speaker. Mia, where are you? At Emily's, she said. She made me come here. Good, I said. Stay there. Don't move. Don't warn him. Jason crossed his arms. And don't delete anything. I won't, Mia said. I'll show them everything. Dad nodded and grabbed his keys. We go to the station, he said. We filed a real report. Mom looked at me. Ethan, don't do something stupid. I'm not, I said. I'm done being stupid. Ava's voice came from the couch, small and shaky. Is he coming back? I knelt in front of her. Not if we're smart, I said. Jason's staying close to you all day. Okay. Jason crouched too. I'm basically your bodyguard now, he said, trying to smile. You'll get sick of me. Ava nodded, but her eyes stayed worried. I don't want Ethan to fight. I touched her bracelet. I'm not fighting, I promised. I'm protecting. At the station, an officer took our statements again. Dad kept his voice steady, but I heard the anger behind every word. When it was my turn, I said, I have photos. I have timestamps. I have video. I can identify his car. The officer nodded. That helps. Dad asked, what can we do tonight? The officer leaned forward. If he returns, we can catch him with clear evidence. But we need to do it right. Jason said, define right. The officer looked at him. No threats. No violence. No bait that breaks the law. Dad nodded. We want clean. I said, then we set a trap that's just the truth. When we got home, Pastor Henry was already there. He stood by the living room window, hands folded, calm in a way that made my teeth grind. He turned to me. How are you holding up? I'm not, I said. I'm just not breaking in front of Ava. He stepped closer. That's strength. It doesn't feel like it, I said. He looked at the dark street. Revenge feels like power, but it chains you to the person who hurt you. Jason scoffed. So, what? We just let him walk. Pastor Henry didn't flinch. No, you let justice walk. I swallowed. I don't forgive him. Pastor Henry nodded. You don't have to. I glanced toward the hallway where Ava sat with Mom. And I don't forgive Mia. Dad's voice stayed firm. Forgiveness can wait. Safety can't. We followed the plan. We left the porch light on. We kept phones ready. We recorded from inside. We didn't step out. We didn't give Logan a reason to claim we attacked him. At 11:18, the familiar car rolled into view. My whole body went still. Jason whispered, that's him. Dad's phone was already recording. Mine was too. The car stopped across the street. The engine kept running. A shadow moved inside. Then the door opened. Logan stepped out like he was taking a casual walk, like he wasn't the reason my sister couldn't sleep. He looked at our house. He smiled. I heard my own breath. Slow. Controlled. Logan crossed the street, hands in his pockets. He paused near our fence, then moved closer to the gate. Pastor Henry whispered, "Hold." Jason whispered back, "I'm holding so hard my teeth hurt." Logan reached toward the latch. Blue lights flashed at the end of the street. Logan froze. A police car rolled up, then another. An officer stepped out and called, "Logan Reed, don't move." Logan's confident smile died in seconds. His eyes flicked toward our window like he could see me through the glass. He shouted, "This is insane." The officer said, "Hands where I can see them." Logan lifted his hands slowly, still smirking like he thought he could talk his way out. Then an officer held up a printed photo of his car outside the school and our house. Logan's face changed. Not fear, rage. He stared straight at our window like I'd stolen something from him. I stared back and thought, no, he tried to steal mine. Minutes later, my phone buzzed again. A text from Dad's officer contact. "Mia is here. She's being detained for false statements in her first report." My chest tightened. Jason whispered, "Mia got arrested too?" I didn't answer. I just watched Logan get cuffed under the flashing lights, and I realized karma didn't knock. It broke the door. The days after the arrest felt quiet, but the quiet hurt more than shouting. Logan didn't call. He couldn't. His name showed up in reports, in court updates, in whispers at the grocery store. Serious charges, Dad said one night, reading from his phone. Stalking, harassment, attempted child endangerment. Mom's hands trembled as she poured tea. I still can't believe someone watched our house. Ava sat beside her, drawing circles on paper like she was trying to stay busy. She didn't sleep without the hallway light for a while. I stayed close, even when she pretended she was fine. Jason came over every evening for a week. "You eating?" he asked me. "Not really," I admitted. He tossed me a protein bar. "Then start with this." "I'm not losing you too." I stared at it and asked, "Did I do the right thing?" Jason didn't joke this time. "You did the only thing." Mia didn't text for days. When she finally did, it wasn't a paragraph. It was 2 words. "Can we talk?" I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Then I replied, "Where?" She sent an address. A small park near the church. When I arrived, she was already there on a bench, shoulders hunched, hair pulled back like she didn't have the energy to fix it. Her eyes were swollen and red. I stopped a few feet away. "Say it." Mia looked up like she expected me to scream. "I ruined everything," she whispered. I kept my voice steady. "You didn't ruin everything. You ruined us." Her lips shook. "I didn't mean." "I know," I said. "That's the part that scares me. You didn't mean it, and you still did it." She wiped her face with her sleeve like a kid. "People hate me. People are allowed to," I said. Ava was terrified. Mia flinched. "Is she okay?" "She's healing," I said. Slowly. Mia stared at the ground. "Logan used me. He made me feel like I was trapped." I exhaled. "You were trapped the moment you stopped telling the truth." She nodded like each word hit her. "I lied to the police at first. I thought if I blamed it on misunderstanding, it would go away." "It doesn't go away," I said. Her voice cracked. "I know." We sat in silence for a few seconds. The wind moved through the trees, and I hated that the world still looked normal. Mia whispered, "Do you hate me?" I thought about it. "I hate what you did," I said. "I hate what it did to Ava. I hate what it did to me." She swallowed. "Do you ever think you'll forgive me?" "I don't know," I said. "Not today." She nodded, like she deserved that answer. Then she looked at me again, eyes glossy. "Did you ever love me?" The question landed hard, because it wasn't drama. It was real. "I did," I said. "That's why it almost killed me." Mia covered her mouth, trying not to sob. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I didn't move closer. I didn't reach out. Sorry can't rebuild trust," I said. "It can only admit it's gone." She whispered, "I want you back." I shook my head once. "No." Mia's face crumpled. "So this is it." "This is it," I said. She stood slowly, like her body was heavier than usual. "I keep thinking if I could go back." "You can't," I said. Mia nodded again, small and broken. "Will you at least tell Ava I'm sorry?" "I will," I said. She hesitated. "Are you going to marry someone else?" The ring box flashed in my memory. I didn't touch it anymore, but I didn't throw it away either. It felt like proof of who I was before. I'm not thinking about that, I said. Mia whispered, I wish I chose better. I looked at her and felt something strange. Not joy, not revenge, just closure. You can still choose better, I said. Just not with me. Mia's tears fell again. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, I said. I watched her walk away, and I didn't chase her. My heart hurt, but it didn't control my legs anymore. Weeks passed. The court dates moved forward. Logan's lawyers tried to twist stories, but facts don't bend easily. Mia's name stayed stained. Mine did too, in a different way. People looked at me with pity, like I was a victim. I didn't want pity. I wanted peace. Pastor Henry invited my family to a small ceremony at the church. Not for headlines, he said, just for healing. I wore a simple shirt and stood at the front with my hands shaking, not from fear, but from feeling too much. Pastor Henry said, Ethan, what are you here to promise? I swallowed. I'm here to make a vow, I said. Not to a person, to my life. Mom's eyes filled. Dad stood beside her, quiet and solid. Ava walked up and slipped her hand into mine. Pastor Henry nodded. Say it. I looked down at Ava, then out at my parents. I vow to protect my family, I said. I vow to live with honor. I vow to tell the truth, even when it hurts. And I vow to never confuse obsession with love. Ava squeezed my hand like she understood more than she should at her age. Mom smiled through tears. Dad nodded once, proud. When it ended, Jason clapped me on the back. So you married yourself? I let out a real laugh, the first in a long time. Something like that. He grinned. Good. Because you're finally choosing right. I didn't get the girl. I got my soul back.